It was early summer when I received the audacious text from Karen's son, Brandon. Hand over your lake cabin this weekend. We're throwing a party. Don't make it complicated. I stared at the screen in disbelief. The nerve. Not only did he assume he had authority over my property, but he also casually threatened a massive violation of the law. I had spent years ensuring my lake cabin was secure, private, and a place for family and close friends. Karen had been a nightmare for years, constantly trying to enforce HOA rules that didn't apply to me. And now her son was following in her footsteps, emboldened by entitlement. I knew I had to respond decisively. I called Brandon back, keeping my tone calm but firm. This is private property. You do not have permission to enter or use it. Any attempt to do so will be considered trespassing. He laughed arrogantly, unaware that I'm not just a homeowner. I'm the chief of police for this county. Relax, chief, he sneered. It's just a small get-together. Your rules don't apply this weekend. I sighed and started preparations. I couldn't let this escalate into another HOA disaster. So I mobilized my security team, my deputies, and installed temporary barriers around the property. Cameras were strategically placed to capture every angle, ensuring that if Brandon or his friends showed up, every action would be documented. Friday evening arrived, and true to form, Brandon arrived with a convoy of trucks and SUVs, each filled with teenagers and boomboxes blaring music. I watched from my security office as they approached the gate. Calmly, I stepped out in my uniform, badge visible, and called out, "Brandon, you are trespassing on private property. Leave immediately, or you will be arrested." He laughed again, thinking this was some HOA bluff. "Come on, chief, it's just a party. We won't be long." I shook my head and activated the automated gate, locking it firmly. My deputies took positions at key points around the lake cabin, ready to intervene if necessary. Brandon's arrogance quickly turned to panic when he realized he was trapped legally. I explained clearly that not only would they face trespassing charges, but any damages, disturbances, or violations of noise ordinances would fall entirely on them. The teens started arguing among themselves, unsure of what to do. Brandon, frustrated, tried to force his way through, but I calmly radioed my deputies to approach. I didn't need to escalate to violence. My presence, authority, and the law itself were enough. One by one, Brandon's friends started leaving, muttering under their breath about how crazy the chief was. Brandon tried one last time to intimidate me, shouting about how he had HOA connections, how his mother was the president, and how I couldn't stop him. I simply smiled. This isn't HOA business. This is the law. And the law is very clear. By midnight, the lake cabin was secure, untouched, and the would-be party guests were long gone. I took a moment to walk the perimeter, ensuring the property was unharmed, and checked the camera footage. Every moment was documented, from their approach to their retreat. Karen's son learned a valuable lesson that weekend. Authority comes with responsibility, and entitlement does not override the law. The next week, Brandon tried to escalate through the HOA board, complaining about my harsh treatment. I forwarded the video, the logs, and legal notices to the board. Even they couldn't argue against the clear-cut evidence of trespassing. The board had no choice but to side with me, officially warning Karen and her son to respect private property laws. That weekend taught me an important lesson about preparedness, authority, and patience. As the chief of police, I could enforce the law without compromising safety, and as a homeowner, I could protect my property without escalating violence. The lake cabin remained a sanctuary, free from HOA tyranny, teenage arrogance, and entitlement-fueled chaos. Karen and her son had finally learned that when it comes to my property, no badge, no connection, and no amount of arrogance could override the law.